The Albanian Mafia is one of the most dangerous and ruthless mafias. Movies like the popular show Gangs of London give you an idea of just how merciless they can be. If there's one thing you should know about the Albanians, you should never mess with them. Today's video takes a deep dive into the life of two of the most notorious Albanian Mafia members that were ever born. We'll be spinning tales of betrayal, murder, and revenge, so sit tight. The Code of Conduct. The Albanian version of snitches gets snitches in Besa. Besa translates to faith, which is the code of conduct of the Albanian Mafia. They are extremely secretive and loyal and continue to evolve. This is one reason why they have continued to exist for several decades. So what is it really like in the life of an Albanian Mafia member? Let's check out the brutal life of some top Albanian bosses and some that had tragic ends. This journey starts at the City of Dreams, where it's not just people looking to make it into Hollywood, but also where the most notorious crime lords rule with violence. Joey Lika. No doubt about it, Joey Lika is the Albanian version of the American mobster and leader of the Gambino crime family, John Gotti, who reigned with terror. Interestingly, Joey hated John Gotti, but that wasn't personal. He just disliked Italians and wasn't afraid to show it as violently as possible. His mobsters were always armed and ready to make high-profile assassinations. Surprisingly, even President Reagan was on that list. New York is the hub of the Albanian Mafia, where Joey was regarded as one of the untouchables. When anyone talked about the King of New York, they weren't referring to a royal family or politician. They were talking about Joey Lika, the Albanian drug lord that single-handedly ruined thousands of lives. Bringing in drugs from Turkey worth as much as $100 million was a day's job for this ruthless mafia. Thanks to collaborators in Turkey and former Yugoslavia, he was able to distribute heroin around New York through Chinese stores. It was only natural that such a character would have several books and articles written about him. In one, he was described as a symbol of terror. Joey Lika was known for crimes related to prostitution, drug smuggling, and trafficking, but that was not all. The mafia member also had his hands in the world of politics, enough to cause chaos whenever he wanted. As big as New York is, the drug lord single-handedly ran the criminal unit of his Albanian organization. But things changed in 1980. He decided to move from being a solo player and shook hands with another notorious criminal in the drug world, Cevdet Mustafa. Much like Joey, Mustafa had a traumatizing start to his life. As a child, he moved to the United States with his parents to escape the terrible Albanian communist regime. Unfortunately, he lost them at a young age and was adopted by a local family. This wasn't enough to keep him from a life of crime, and his first entry into this brutal world was in 1986. At the time, he committed his first ever murder with nothing but a baseball bat and enough hatred to beat a man to death. This was only a hint into how much of a bloodthirsty monster Mustafa was. If Mustafa hated anyone, he would dedicate everything he had to make sure they ended up 6 feet below. So naturally, he hated the Albanian communist politician Enver Hoxha with every fiber of his being. Enver was the reason Mustafa and his family had to leave their country to settle in the United States as immigrants. So, Mustafa put together a team with 4 other Albanian mobsters with grudges against Enver and went on a mission to kill him. Unfortunately, things didn't work out according to plan. Rather than face his failure to assassinate Enver, Mustafa shot himself in 1982. With the death of Mustafa, Joey Lika was once again the solo Albanian drug lord of Manhattan. He became bolder with smuggling heroin, as there was pretty much no one to stop him. Every day, tons of heroin made it into the streets of America from countries like Afghanistan until he was arrested in 1985. However, the 3-year journey to Joey's eventual arrest started with a terrible mistake he made in 1981. While trying to expand his heroin business, the mobster had a fallout with an old partner, Dujo Saljonen. They agreed that Dujo would import several kilos of heroin, but this delivery was short by a kilo. Angry and feeling cheated, Joey agreed to a meeting at Dujo's restaurant alongside Mehmet Bici and Vuksan Vulaj. Unfortunately, they couldn't reach an amicable conclusion and things got heated quickly. Joey shot the Albanian Saljonen and Vuksan Vulaj lost his life as well. One of the members of the Albanian Mafia survived the terrible gunfight and became a protected witness against Joey. This was the beginning of the end for the king of the drug world. After his arrest, it was revealed that Joey was responsible for $125 million worth of drugs, making it into Illinois, Texas, California, and New York through the Balkan connection. Remember Besa we mentioned earlier? Well, that came to play throughout Joey Lika's trial. To the Albanian Mafia, faith and oath were everything, and his entire family was always in court for his trials. They tried everything to stop their boss from going to prison. It was an all-out war, from death threats to the prosecutor, Rudy Giuliani, to offering millions of dollars to have him freed. Rudy Giuliani was so important to the drug case that the 5 families running the biggest drug cartels in the world held a vote to determine if he should be assassinated or not. Eventually, Joey Lika was sentenced to a life in prison without parole, but refused to appeal the decision. Joey had killed an Albanian and knew that the victim's family would always want revenge. So he was prepared to spend his life behind bars, as that would be the safest place for him. Did this historic arrest undo the damage this Albanian drug lord had done on the streets of the United States? No, but it was definitely great to have him off the streets forever. While Joey's reign had ended, another Albanian mafia boss was just as brutal as him and founded his own criminal organization, the Sixth Family. His name? Alex Rudac. Alex Rudac. The 5 families of La Cosa Nostra are Colombo, Genovese, Gambino, Bonanno, and Luces. Alex believed his 6th family was on the same level as these 5 families, but they were nothing more than a rogue bunch even after 10 years. Still, they were ruthless enough to command attention. Alex Rudac's journey into the world of crime started with the Gambino family. However, he decided to spread his wings and, by the 1990s, had fully decided that he wanted to create his own organization. Slowly but surely, the Albanian Mafia spread its tentacles, and his organization started illegal gambling at the Morris Park end of Westchester County. Seeing how successful he was, Alex wanted more. In 2001, he attacked a gambling spot owned by the Luces family and declared that he was in charge of illegal gambling in Astoria. Alex even beat up 2 armed men with his pistol, and they ran away. However, the Gambino boss had had enough and wanted a meeting with the 6th family. Alex picked a gas station in New Jersey for this conversation, where he arrived with only 6 men, while the Gambinos were 20 and all armed. But this was a smart move that saved his life. The gas station was one of the worst places for the mafia members to meet, as they were surrounded by explosive petroleum products. And Alex knew this. When things got heated, and it looked like there would be a gunfight, Alex simply threatened to blow up a gas tank, and that quickly calmed the situation. Everyone left the gas station unhurt. Interestingly, everyone who attended the meeting that day was in jail by 2006, all except one, Princ Dobroshi. While Alex Rudac was sentenced to 27 years in prison in 2006, in a move that marked the end of his reign as the leader of the 6th family, Princ Dobroshi was never the kind of man to stay in prison for long. Known as one of the most powerful heroin smugglers in the 1990s, the Kosovo-Albanian mobster was first captured in Norway in 1993 and was meant to begin his 14 years in jail in 1994. However, his associates helped in escape through a clever operation in 1997, and he tried to start a new life in Czech Republic. Unfortunately, Dobroshi was never one to lead a quiet life. In less than 2 years, he had become a prominent face in the Albanian drug ring and was arrested again in February 1999, this time in Prague. He later heard rumors of a plan to assassinate him in prison and used his connections to pull a successful extradition to Norway. According to the rumor mill, Dobroshi is currently hiding in Kosovo, while his family is also hiding in Prague. No one has any idea who they are. What do you find most intriguing about the Albanian Mafia? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and check out more awesome ones on our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.